Okay, folks, I've got a little bit of time before I have to hit the showers and get ready to go to work. Actually, I don't have to be at work till noon, but still, I got a little time left before I have to hit the showers and all that because I got to leave the house by at least 11:15 or 11:10 so I can go take care of the rent, mail out the rent, and go from there. Anywho, anywho, I thought I'd talk about this real quickly. Now, I know I did a brief video on it last Saturday because, of course, I had to be up early because I had to go to work early. But like I said, I did a brief video on it and everything, so figured I'd talk a little bit more about it here. I've got the time, and that is, this whole situation with Sonic Boom. You know, Sonic Boom to me, like I said in the one video, is I believe a combination in a sense. If you've been a long time fan, um, like I have. If you've been a long time fan like I have, you know, Sonic Boom, is one of those shows that, like I said in the other video, seemingly combines elements of adventures, Sonic X, and somewhat of underground. So a bit of underground in there. And the reason I say it adds in a bit of underground is because you have basically a team of four. Underground had a team of three. They were always the main focus at times. Here you just have four. Actually, it's a team of five, actually. Team of five. Was it four? No, it's a team of five, yeah. But they were always the main focus. Now you might say, well, SatAM was the same way, but here's the thing, though. SatAM focused on other characters at times. Focused on, in the second season, it focused on Dulcie. Several times it focused on Sally. Several times it focused on Bunny. It even focused on Rhoda and Antoine. So it focused on all these characters individually. Not together as a group. And I'm not saying they're not going to do that with Boom, because I believe as soon as we get Percy in there, I think that's what her name is, we're going to end up getting more of a SatAM-like feel. And that's going to help it out, I believe. But still, the point is with Boom, the main point with Boom is, it's sort of, in my opinion as a longtime fan, it's got this element that, adventure-wise, the elements it's got from Adventures is the comedy, the wackiness, the silliness. From Underground, it's got that team factor. It's got that team de facto. Where you could probably, like, this past Saturday, you could probably do an 11-minute short where it's just Sonic and Tails, and that's fine. That's also sort of a callback, well, not just to the games, but to Adventures. It's mostly always going to be a team de facto deal. Now, I know some people might watch this and argue and say, well, Brian, you talk about individualness, and it's always been about teams. They do episodes based on individuals. And I'm not denying that. I'm not. I'm not saying that they don't do that, but it's mostly, it's mostly a team deal. You get what I'm saying? It's more like, how do I put this? It's like you could do your episodes focused on Styx. You can do your episodes focused on Tails. You could do your episodes focused on Amy. But most of the time, it's a team environment. You know, it's mostly all them. That's what a majority of the episodes are. I mean, Sonic Underground was the same way. You could focus in several episodes on Sonya. You could focus several episodes on Manic, on Sonic. But the truth is, it was always a team dynamic. That's all it was. Majority of the time, majority of the series, it was a team dynamic. So, to me, it was more like, to me, it's more like what Boom is. It's like, it's a series that's mostly a team dynamic that you're going to have individual episodes focused on individual characters, but it's mostly the but you're mostly always going to relate back or fall back on the entire team. With SatAM, yeah, you probably did that at times, but the majority of the times, when you would do these individual episodes, you would only need one, two, or three members out of that team as a part of that episode. And that usually helped it out. That usually made it work in the end anyway. So when I look at Underground, not Underground, when I look at Boom, I see that element that you saw in Underground. You see that team dynamic. You see that, yeah, you're going to have the episodes, mainly focused on, had to move the camera there a bit. But yeah, you're going to have you're going to have the episodes based, on mostly team elements. Yeah, you have an episode focused on one character and what they're doing, that's fine. But it's mostly a team element. And again, that basically, to me, that's what it gets from Underground. What it gets from X, of course, is the fact that you have all the characters. It's mostly based around a video. It's mostly based around the video games. It's basically like X in the sense that these are characters people know already. But what it is it's more along the lines of what it gets from Sonic X is, there's no outside references to anybody else. That's the entire thing. You don't have any characters that show up and say, "Hey, that looks like Sally," even though they might throw it in for a cameo, or, "Oh, that looks like Antoine," or that looks like. But you're not going to get any of those with X. You won't, unless they decide to do it. And to me, it gets that element from Sonic. Not X, but Boom. You're not going to get that from Boom. Because it's got that Sonic X element of it's mainly based on a video game series, on the video game portion of the franchise, and mostly based on this new extension of the Sonic franchise. That's what it's based on. So it's got those elements right there. Now, like I said, as far as SatAM goes, the elements it gets from there, you can kind of see the elements it has. They got that. You kind of see the elements that it has there. It's like you can tell it's got SatAM elements, like I said, with Percy eventually coming in, you're going to see sort of those SatAM elements. I feel it. Because here's a character that, according to some people, unless you've already played the games, or even got an advanced sneak peek of episodes, is a no-nonsense girl. So I think, in a sense, she's going to have sort of that Sally-like role, but with a little bit of a toughness added to her. That, yeah, Sally was tough and still is tough if you read the comics. Don't get me wrong. But this is a girl that's going to be very Sally-like, but it's going to have a bit of that kick to her that you don't normally see with Sally. In other words, let's say you try to talk back to her, or you try to think, "Oh, I outsmarted her, or I thought her," or whatever. She's going to come back with something that's even going to stump you. So I could be wrong, but I feel that when we get Percy, and we're going to get more of that SatAM element. Now, those are a lot of the things, those are a lot of the elements that Boom takes, influential-wise, takes from these other shows. That's what I see. That's what I think Kaboom, Cartoon Network, and Sega, whether they want to admit it or not, they take basically from these other shows. They take these elements. They do. Now, as far as I think one of the things with Boom. Now, one of the things I'll look at with Boom, from I guess you could say an area that it can improve on. I said this before in the one video. I'll say it again. I think the one area that they can improve on with Sonic Boom is, well, there's actually several areas, but one area I believe they can improve on is expanding the episodes. You know, you can't always rely on a two mini episode within one episode format. You can't rely on that 11-minute episodic episode format where it's like, oh, it's 52 episodes it's 52 episodes in 26 episodes. You know, it's like 52 mini episodes in 26 episodes. You can't always rely on that. You got to change up. You got to switch up. And I believe, hopefully, they do that in the future. I mean, if they're going to keep this, if this series, let's say, I'm not guaranteeing this is going to happen, but if this series if this series ends up getting a second season, not saying it will, but you never know. But if this series ends up getting a second season, if it does, and again, I'm not saying it might, I'm not saying it will, but if it does, then what they need to do with that second season, if it happens, is they need to improve. They need to basically do what they're doing with the games that the series is based on, and basically like, okay, we have this other villain, fans are going to wonder when he's going to show up, blah, blah, blah. You need to do that. And you might say, well, the games happened before the series. Yeah, I get that. Or the series happens before the games. I get that, but here's the thing. Fans are going to still want to see this guy. They're going to want to still see the character of Lyric. You know, so I believe if you're going to do another season, if they do, they need to do it in a sense that says, okay, we're going to spread it out. We're going to do more actual one episode, 30-minute episodes of Boom compared to just these two 11-minute episodic formats. We're going to do more one episode deals with one big adventure, one big full adventure, instead of two separate 11-minute episodes. We're going to do one big one. And a lot of series do that. A lot of series do. They go back and forth on that. There's a lot of series that I can name that have done that. Even Sat AM, even though they did two of them, even though a majority of their episodes were full-length episodes, they had actually in the second season 2 episodes that contained 2 mini episodes, 2 11-minute shorts each. So they've done that before, and it can be done. Another show that I could give an example of, as crazy as it sounds, Care Bears has done that. Care Bears have done that. They've gone out and, hold on for a sec. I'll be right back.